Have you ever wondered about the very beginning, not just of our world, but of humanity itself? Today, we're journeying back to a time of pure innocence, a perfect garden, and the first two people who ever walked the earth. This is the story of Adam and Eve, and the moment everything changed. Imagine a world untouched by sorrow, a place of breathtaking beauty called the Garden of Eden. Here, life was in perfect harmony. The sun was always gentle, the rivers flowed with crystal clear water, and every plant and animal lived in peace. In the heart of this paradise, God formed the first man, Adam, from the dust of the ground. He breathed life into him, and Adam became a living soul. God gave Adam a monumental task: to care for the garden and to name all the animals. Picture Adam walking through lush fields, a lion resting at his feet, as he thoughtfully gave names to every creature, from the majestic eagles soaring above to the smallest insect buzzing by. Yet amidst all this splendor, God saw that something was missing. "It is not good that the man should be alone," he said. "I will make a helper suitable for him." So, while Adam was in a deep sleep, God took one of his ribs, and from it formed the first woman, Eve. When Adam awoke and saw her, he recognized her instantly as part of himself, his perfect companion. They were two halves of a whole, living in complete trust and innocence in the presence of their Creator. They had everything they could ever need, and their only guide was a simple instruction from God. In the center of the garden stood two special trees, the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. God told Adam and Eve, "You may eat freely from any tree in the garden, but you must not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, for when you eat from it, you will certainly face consequences." This wasn't a trick. It was a choice to trust and live in the perfect world God had made for them. For a time, they lived by this simple rule, their days filled with joy and discovery in their perfect home. But paradise was about to be tested. A subtle and cunning voice entered the garden. A serpent, more crafty than any other creature, approached Eve. It didn't start with a command, but with a question designed to plant a seed of doubt. "Did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden?" it whispered. Eve corrected the serpent, explaining God's instruction, but the serpent pressed on, twisting the truth. "You will not certainly face consequences," it hissed, "for God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." This was the moment of temptation. The serpent made disobedience sound like an opportunity for enlightenment, a secret path to becoming more powerful. Eve looked at the fruit. It was beautiful to the eye and looked delicious. And the serpent's promise, the idea of gaining wisdom, of being like God, was intoxicating. The seed of doubt had sprouted into desire. In that moment, she forgot the abundance all around her and focused only on the one thing that was forbidden. She took the fruit and ate it. Then, she gave some to Adam, who was with her, and he ate it too. He wasn't deceived in the same way Eve was, but he chose to follow her, a decision that would ripple through all of history. In that instant, everything changed. Their innocence was shattered. For the first time, they felt shame and fear. They looked at each other and realized they were exposed, so they quickly sewed fig leaves together to cover themselves. The sound of God walking in the garden, once a source of comfort, now filled them with dread. They hid among the trees, trying to escape the presence of the one who had given them everything. "But you can't hide from the Creator," God called out. "Where are you?" He knew where they were, of course, but he was giving them a chance to come forward, to confess what they had done. When they finally emerged, the blame game began. Adam pointed to Eve, saying, "The woman you put here with me, she gave me some fruit from the tree, and I ate it." Then Eve, in turn, pointed to the serpent. "The serpent deceived me, and I ate," she said. They failed to take responsibility for their own choices. The harmony they once knew was broken, not just with God, but with each other. The consequences were profound. The serpent was cursed to crawl on its belly. The woman would face pain in childbirth, and her relationship with her husband would be marked by conflict. The man would have to toil and sweat to get food from the ground, which would now produce thorns and thistles. And most tragically of all, they were banished from the Garden of Eden. God placed mighty cherubim and a flaming sword to guard the way to the tree of life. They had lost paradise. They were now in a world where they would experience hardship, sorrow, and eventually, physical death. Their choice to disobey, to grasp for knowledge on their own terms, led them out of a world of perfect communion and into a world of struggle. But even in this moment of judgment, there was a glimmer of hope. God promised that one day a descendant of Eve would come who would crush the head of the serpent. This was the first hint of a rescue plan, a promise that the story wasn't over. The loss of paradise was not the end, but the beginning of a new, much longer story, the story of redemption. So, what can we take away from this ancient account? It's a powerful story about choice, trust, and consequences. It reminds us that our decisions, big and small, have a ripple effect. It's also a story about human nature, our tendency to doubt, to desire what's forbidden, and to shift blame when things go wrong. But most importantly, it sets the stage for a greater narrative of hope and restoration, showing that even when we feel lost, there is always a path back. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back to the very beginning. If you found this story thought-provoking, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that have shaped our world. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious.